Tonight, before you go to bed, make an inspection tour of your ice box. How's that Pabst Blue Ribbon supply holding out? Tomorrow morning when your dealer says, "What did you have?" say, "Pabst Blue Ribbon." What else?
Probably Brent.
Brent.
My phone's over there now. I think I fell on the cushion. Nope, it's on the banky. On the banky. It's like right there.
By the Ina pillow.
Yeah, Ina pillow's right there. She's vibing. She's a little upside down right now.
Botan pillow over there.
Harry the platypus is right there, with Ina right behind her.
Oh my God.
I have
You can kind of
Anya
see Rusher. Rusher's over there.
You can see Fabookers. My like
Rusher. Fubker. Right. Tip roll was in.
All right. Oh. We good? We cooking?
Nope.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hello Harem podcast. I'm your host, Alex Luby, and I'm joined, as always, by the horniest of homies to sail the seven seas, Mr. Anthony Luby, Luke Farnsworth, and we have no special guests today.
Took you a while just to say that.
It's a dry run.
It's a dry rub.
Yeah, I was gonna say dry rub, actually. I was
I'm
gonna
a
say
fan
dry
of
rub.
Dry rub.
I don't
Wings?
like dry rubs as much as I like wet wings. I like my wings extra wet.
I do. There is one at
Yeah.
like Quaker that's good. It's like a Chipotle barbecue or something. It do
like-
be good.
I like not that one. It's the other one that.
This
I
is a
always
dry
get.
rub one.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see. I want to look up their.
Oh, the Cajun dry rub is.
They have a
really good.
Cajun dry rub?
Yeah, it's really good.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
I used to get it at the wing night.
Look, me and you are big Cajun fellas.
I love
You guys always
Cajun
get
seasoning.
Cajun's fucked. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, anytime there's like Cajun on the menu, me and Wook always go for Cajun.
I love it, man. That shit schmackles.
Cajun
Schmackles
be
hard.
schmacking.
I had some alligator beef jerky with Cajun seasoning. That was like that was Cajun as it gets. You know, you're eating gator
With the
with
Cajun.
Cajun seasoning. It was a little spicy.
I want to go down to Mardi Gras one year.
I do too.
You just to
Just
say
to
I've been there.
experience it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Even
You
though
should go
I'll
to-
most likely get mugged, I would,
Yeah.
would like to go just
Yeah,
for that.
New Orleans is one of those cities that I'm like kind of scared to go to.
There's that. I really want to try some good gumbo,
I do want to try some
Mhm.
gumbo.
Jambalaya.
jambalaya. I want to eat.
Jambalaya.
I want to eat all that shit. Nom
Mhm.
nom nom up in my fucking tummy.
Like I would really love to go to New Orleans and like Baton Rouge. I'm like low key scared of Louisiana.
But you gotta. It's called Norlands.
New Orleans.
Obviously, we all
New
know
Orleans.
that.
You got that New
Orleans.
Orleans.
New Orleans. It's
I
just
don't know.
it's cool. New Orleans. I think it's a cool name and like the way it looks is fucking sweet.
I think New Orleans is as scared of us as we are of it,
Yeah, it's like spiders or bumblebees.
or tigers.
Do you think people in New Orleans are afraid to come to Tigers? Now don't worry now.
He's
Jumbo
just
the
afraid of
Tiger
you.
is more Jumbo the Tiger is more scared of you than you are of him.
I mean, that is true.
See the way he gets down? That means he's scared, not ready to pounce.
Now, I know there's a viral video going around. There's some blokes in India, and a tiger jumps out from randomly in the grass and attacks and pulls in an ongoer. He was egging him on. All right, he deserved it.
I mean, it is true. They are more scared of us than we are of them. That's why they attack us.
Have you seen that video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucked.
It's fucking crazy.
It jumps out of nowhere.
Tiger.
I wish we
appears out
could
of
ever
thin
talk
air.
about something that's really fucked up and not laugh about it.
Dude. I
This
also-
guy falls out of a hospital. Holy shit, it's like you got me. A guy gets pulled in by a tiger and mauled to death. Dude, that's fucking crazy.
There's also another video. It's like CCTV footage. This girl gets out of her car, and a tiger runs out and pulls her away. And then the person gets out of the other side of the car and chases him. I'm like, holy fuck! I just saw someone get eaten by a tiger. Again.
Woof. Yeah, again.
If I had a nickel.
Fool me
Two's not a
once,
lot,
shame
but
on
it's
me.
weird that-
Fool me twice, shame on you.
Two's not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
I had a nickel for every time I saw a car on fire. I'd have like 7 nickels,
Yeah, you'd have
Yeah,
like
you would.
a
which
very
is a lot of
odd
nickels.
amount of. You'd have a good amount of nickels.
Yeah, I wouldn't
is-
have one nickel. I've never seen a car on fire.
You would have 1 nickel, don't you lie?
One?
Oh no, wait, you saw the aftermath on the way back.
That was
from,
I saw aftermath as well. I didn't see the fire, but
Yeah,
That's right. I've seen
almost.
way too many cars on fire.
Yeah, it's like the Luke special. Is an
I wish it
automobile on
wasn't.
fire.
I know.
I really wish
The
that
Luke
terrible
special.
traffic caused by immense accidents was not my special talent.
Luke has like Anthony. You know how my talent's to make cars go bad?
Yeah, please don't drive my vehicle, please.
Yeah, Luke's is like terrible traffic, and not even like backed up. It's just drivers tend to be assholes when they see Luke's car. They're like, "Oh, there's a fucking Hyundai. Let me cut him off real quick in
My
this
question
shitty
is,
weather."
is it me or is it my car? Because there was that dude that was bullying Thorpe on the way back from Boston too.
Oh yeah, that guy was.
Well,
I
I don't think we can. I don't think we can really decide yet because you were in the car.
But I was not driving.
Maybe he knew you were in it. He's like, that dude over there in the passenger seat. Something about him.
He's on
makes me
Reddit.
wanna-
I bet he's looking at hentai right now. I should go beat the shit out of him.
That was like 90% of that drive for me when I wasn't driving.
That guy is 100% have gotten his ass beat by 3 dudes that were too pissed off to
Fuck yeah,
care.
dude.
Is his wife? If his wife would have interrupted and like pushed one of us, I would have hit her.
Oh yeah,
I
I
don't
was,
care. I
totally,
don't
I was
care.
totally hitting that guy's wife.
If she hit us,
Was she like
if she hit
telling
us.
him not to do it? Did anyone see what her input
Yeah,
was?
she looked like she was trying to stop him and
Okay.
just get behind us.
He's like, "I got this, honey. Shut up."
I'm in a
Shut up,
Jeep.
bitch.
I got the Jeep. 4
Bitch
wheels.
wife make noise. Me no like that.
Me merge.
Me drive Wrangler.
Me drive Wrangler. Me merge. Bitch wife get fist when I get home.
That was a-
USA car better than Korea car.
3 quarters lights later.
My
still,
face went bush.
Oh no, dude. 15 beers. My car keys are calling my name.
I can't resist. Must get in driver's seat and go to Taco Bell.
Oh, if I had a nickel.
Well, it's Tippy's question. Did anybody do anything fun this week?
Oh Jesus. I got a haircut,
You're gonna answer for everyone
and
and,
it
say
wasn't
no,
fun. No.
no.
My week ended. That was the most exciting part about it. After I got blamed for something I didn't do at work and my car battery went out. Other than that, yeah, it was a great
Yeah.
week.
Oh, yeah,
Tip.
you've been
I really
having,
enjoyed it.
You've been having some car issues. You know why? It's because you know Alex. Alex like carries this black.
It's because
cloud
we
of
recently
bad cars.
recently went on a drive. I recently was in operation of the vehicle, and it's like, oh shit. It's just a little delayed.
Honestly, that battery is probably 7 years old minimum.
Yeah.
And that's impressive that it made it that far.
I mean, it did like die on me last month in December, and I was like,
I remember that.
Well, it still runs right now, so I'll just go until it doesn't run anymore. Little did I expect that it would be at 7:15 in the morning, and I needed to be at work in 15 minutes, and was then an hour and 6 minutes late. And the 6 minute matters because that's how I have to put it in my time.
That sucks.
I think ours is 7 minutes.
Ours is, I think, 8.
What?
If like we come in, so we have to clock in before 6. If we come in at like 6:08, 1 minute later than that time, then it takes like you have to stay like an hour over to make up that like
That is
time.
dumb as
It is
hell.
dumb.
No, so we do all of our time is based off of 6 minute intervals. So I lost 1.1 hours.
Nice.
And that's how I had to put it in my time. So I had to make up 0.1 hours.
6
Jeez.
fucking minutes.
And
That's-
it's a
that's
very
honestly-
big thing.
That's grueling.
That's goofy.
It's very big thing. We're not allowed to round up. There's time theft if I were to fall asleep and not make up that time. If I show up late and don't count the time that I showed up late, that's considered time theft.
Jesus, they really take that seriously.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck though.
I wouldn't either.
Bitch, I'd be sleeping for 8 hours.
Try me, bitch.
I totally would.
I mean, I probably wouldn't. I'd get fired, but like, Catch me sleeping.
Right.
Do it.
Paid to sleep for 1 day.
I got paid to sleep for 1 day at work.
I did this crazy thing at work and lost my job.
Doesn't even matter. I get tomorrow off, bitches. Martin Luther
Lucky
King Day.
fucking asshole.
Martin
Well,
Luther
pissed.
King Day. Suck it. Suck it. Federal
Oh, yeah.
holiday. Martin Luther King Day. I get off, bitch. Fuck
not,
you.
Not according to people in Ohio.
Well, in Ohio, you also are stinky and have Alex that doesn't have a car. So
That's
how do
true.
you like that?
He's not wrong.
There's no Alex down here without a car that I know of.
Alex, I'm gonna start making you pay me for mileage and gas money.
Well, I was going to take the
oil
van.
fees.
We can ride in the van tomorrow to work.
I don't care.
You should
Yeah.
start paying Alex in knuckle sandwiches.
We
I'm
can
gonna give
roll
you a
up in the
knuckle
Honda Odyssey.
sandwich.
Here's an
Deliver.
IOU for a knuckle sandwich.
And I'm cashing in.
Oh no.
Extra mayonnaise.
No.
Imagine putting
What's-
mayonnaise in your hand and then punching someone.
I feel like I'd be disrespected on a whole nother level if I got punched with mayonnaise hands.
I'd be like,
What if you got?
dude, why'd you do that?
It's like even if none gets on you, it's still just worse.
It's just the fact that someone sat down, said, "Get ready," took a fucking jar of mayonnaise out of their backpack or whatever, just their whole fist in there, and then punched you in the face. And all you can think is, you had to sit there and let them do that the whole time. You sat there and watched them dip their whole fucking hand in mayonnaise
And then
just
punch
for
you
them
in
to
the
turn around and punch you in the face.
Hold on, jackass. Let me get the Hellman's out. He just puts his hand in it.
I like to think it's those big giant tubs that they have at like Penn Station and places
huge
like
ones.
that. Like the
You just
huge
dunk
Yeah.
in, like you
And
go
it's
up
like-
to the elbow.
His whole forearm is covered in Hellman's mayonnaise.
That'd be awesome.
And you just sit there and watch in horror as he does that. And you just think, why am I letting him do this? And then he punches you in the fucking face.
That would be one of those things that I think if you stuck around for, I feel like people would. Like if a guy whips out the 5-gallon mayonnaise tub, you're like, what is he gonna do with that? And he starts dunking his hand, and you're still thinking like, what the fuck is going on? And he pulls it out, and you're like, there's no way he's gonna hit me with the fist covered in mayonnaise. And the next thing you know, you're covered in mayonnaise, and you got a bruise.
The big thing is that who's calling the cops for someone for assault that way? They just punch you once and walk away? I'm not calling the cops. I'm too embarrassed. I just got punched by
Yeah.
a mayonnaise fist.
And you're covered in mayonnaise. You have to explain.
And I'm covered in mayonnaise.
Cop shows up. He's like, all right, what happened, and why are you covered in mayonnaise?
Well, officer, it's a long story, but the short form is I got punched. And he's like, where the fuck does the mayonnaise come into this?
Well, I didn't know either, but it just kind of happened.
Well, sir, did you try eating with a bib? Maybe they were fucking pissed because you missed your mouth. And he's like, no. I wasn't eating the mayonnaise. The only sandwich I ate was a knuckle sandwich. And the cop's like, I'm leaving now.
You've wasted my time.
What do you think would happen if your cop came over? They're like, what happened? You're like, I got fed a knuckle sandwich, extra mayonnaise.
I got fed a knuckle sandwich, extra mayonnaise.
Good
Yes,
go.
officer, I'd like to file a report.
Yeah.
What is it?
What's the report?
What would you call it?
An
Man,
assault charge.
With mayo.
It would definitely be an assault charge, extra mayonnaise.
and then whoever's
like-
filing that in has to go, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
What does extra mayonnaise mean? Or imagine like the news report after that, like everything on the news, like local man gets punched in face with fistful of mayonnaise. Like
And it's captured
think-
on CCTV.
and the whole CCTV footage is like two guys like this. And you just see them like real angry, pointing at each other, and the other guy's like, and then he turns around, puts his backpack off, just shoves his arm into his backpack and
Socks him
pulls
in the
out. It's
mouth.
covered in mayonnaise. Socks the other guy in the mouth, and it looks like a whole like Three Stooges silent movie cartoon thing. And the other
You
guy's like,
speak-
and then the guy just walks away with a armful of mayonnaise.
You like speed it up just a bit so it looks like a silent movie.
You speed up so it's a little cartoony.
What do you do if you're the guy who's punching? Like, obviously, when you get in those situations, you get pretty heated and you tend not to think the best. So after it's all said and done, you collect yourself. You look at your arm, it's covered in mayonnaise. And you're like, what the fuck did I just do?
And all you can think is, wow, that was not worth it in the slightest.
Yeah, like the punch, okay, you're like, okay, I punched a guy. Whatever, you get heated. But, like, you have to go wash this off now.
You have to wash your arm covered in mayonnaise.
I'm
It's like
home,
more
honey.
degrading than the worst fap a man could have.
And like, there's two options, right? You're not punching a man in the face with mayonnaise in front of your own home. So your two options are, you're walking in somewhere with an arm covered in mayonnaise to wash it off, and you have to look at the cashier, whoever's there, as they stare at you with your arm covered in mayonnaise. Or you drive back to your house with an arm covered in mayonnaise.
Then
There
it's all
is
over
no
your
winning.
car.
And it's obviously you're going to be your dominant hand that you're punching with.
Yeah.
And most of America is right-handed. And in America, all your controls are on your right hand. So are you reaching over with your left arm and keeping your right arm on your clothes, resting, so it's just mayonnaise all over you? Or are
you
you
imagine
controlling your car with mayonnaise on?
Trying to start your car with your left hand, put the key in the ignition, go fucking turn all the way.
I've done it.
Oh yeah, you
It
have like
sucks.
shoulder issues.
It does suck. Yeah, it's hard.
That's where a
What?
engine start button comes in clutch.
Mhm.
Yeah. What if a guy, say mayonnaise man, was back at it again, and his hand was hurting him. So instead of putting his fist in, he puts his foot. So he takes his shoe off, he takes his sock off, he puts his,
That's way
puts his foot
worse!
in,
That's
he
terrible.
roundhouse kicks someone, puts his socks and shoes back
Oh
on.
my god, those are ruined now! You
And then
can't wear
drives
them
home.
again! Those are going right into the trash!
That's like worse. You know when your socks get like wet and then they're in your shoe and you're like, this is just horrible.
And that just
Yeah.
sucks, right?
That's
But
water.
there's mayonnaise inside of your sock and your
Imagine
pants.
just the thickness of mayonnaise
Just-
covering your fucking foot, and you're just like, but
Every
it's mayonnaise.
step, you're just like, oh no, oh no.
I'm gonna
oh,
get all the
no.
people with like sensory mayonnaise between your toes. Yeah, that's fucked, right?
I don't even like lotion on my feet that much.
I
Couldn't
know.
imagine mayonnaise covering my fucking feet like that.
Before we get off of the mayonnaise train and this just becomes irrelevant, I want to circle back to something Alex said. It was just a second ago. He's like, "Yeah, man, that's like worse than the worst fap of your life." I think if you like fucked a jar of mayonnaise, that might just be worse. Because the post nut clarity is like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Well, like, obviously there's a means of people fucking peanut butter jars, right?
That's a thing.
But, yeah, that's a thing.
Oh man.
But, like, peanut butter's thick, right? So there's something there. Mayonnaise is not thick enough. What the fuck is going to happen there? Are you, like, slightly freezing the mayonnaise so that it's a little bit hard? Like, there's nothing there.
Why is the
that's the
mayonnaise in
equivalent
the
of-
freezer? Oh, I'm just getting a little thick.
That's like the equivalent of like jacking off with water. Like what are you gonna
Yeah.
do?
It
There's
just doesn't
nothing
work.
there. There's no friction.
Jesus.
I don't want to bring that up ever again.
No,
that's
that's
a done
enough.
topic.
That's enough.
I don't know why I turned around for my water when it's right here in front of me. Hydration check, all of you at home. Cheers.
We stay hydrated here.
We also stay reminding you guys to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also ring that bell for notifications. We post weekly. Check out our social medias in the description below or something. I don't know if we put in there or not.
I need to post some clips, some Hello Harem clips.
I need to make clips, but I have had one hell of a week, and I have not been motivated to do fucking anything.
I was off for 2 weeks, so I got some stuff done.
Oh yeah, you were off for like 3 weeks.
I did have
Yeah.
a nice night last night.
The bar, where was that bar at? Is it a brewery?
That was down in Norfolk. That was a brewery, and they have like this. It's like a pizza place in there. So
Really?
I ordered a pizza, and it was delicious. It was a bacon Gouda pizza that had caramelized onions on it.
Sounds
Ooh.
bussin'.
It was.
Was it like
banging.
in downtown Norfolk?
No. So, you know where like the historical Ghent area is?
Yeah.
That's like north of where we go. It's like northwest of that.
Oh, okay.
I went
Okay.
down 664 towards Portsmouth to get there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's like Western
Mm-hmm.
Norfolk.
The food was good though.
Food was good. That pizza was bang-a-langin'.
I very
That's
much
another place to add
enjoy.
to the list of Norfolk food. 3.
There was that, and then we went to like this smaller little bar
Mhm.
after, because the place we went to closed at 10 on a Saturday.
That's
and
fucking weird.
the other place was open till like 2 a.m. So we went
Not as
over
weird
there.
as Boston.
Yeah, Boston was really weird.
That was strange.
But that River Point Red that I had was fucking amazing.
That
was
looked good.
It was a good beer.
Was that? At
I
the,
love
that was at
Reds.
the brewery.
Mm-hmm.
I like Reds.
The other one was just a bar. I was like, damn, this is a nice night. I met some of my coworkers' friends. They were pretty cool.
Pretty
Really?
based.
Yeah, they were pretty nice.
That's cool. That's kind of bussin'.
I very much
have it.
enjoy going to breweries. I love
Mhm.
breweries.
I do too. I love flights. I like trying new beers.
I don't like the TSA, so I hate flights.
We
I
hate
just
the
walk
TSA.
past them.
Hey, you stop. No. Oh, okay.
hey, you stop the Glock in my fucking.
No. Hey, you stop. You like show the mayonnaise jar out of your book bag and then you walk away.
like,
oh,
oh,
fuck.
Whoa! We don't want any trouble. We don't want any trouble. Whoa!
I saw that on
whoa.
Reddit. I'm not
gonna
messing with him.
I'm not gonna become another number for your entertainment.
Number 2.
They're like, hey, you should stop, and you just pull up your shirt to show 7 pounds of C4 explosives strapped to your chest.
All right, you can go ahead.
I'll let this one go.
You know what? This is a pass for you.
What's one person gonna do?
What's one person with 7 pounds of plastic explosives strapped to their chest gonna do? That's not a domestic terrorist. Good.
All right. Luke, you had it in the week, didn't you?
Yeah.
You got one in store for us?
Yeah.
Hit us with it.
Quick question. Is it still domestic terrorism if you bomb an international flight?
I think it depends where the international flight is.
Okay. That was a complete side question. But I thought about it when I said domestic terrorist. I was like, I wonder how that works on an international flight.
I mean, I'm also kind of curious now.
So, have you guys ever wanted to watch a fantasy show where the hero falls in love with the demon lord? Well,
Yes.
that's what I have in store for you. This show's called Maoyu. It is a story about a hero who is like extremely overpowered, obviously, but that's not the point of the show. And he ends up running away from his group to chase after the demon lord, like, and not put his friends in trouble or whatever. And when he gets there, he realizes that the demon king is a woman and she's hot and she wants to marry him or something. It was like really sudden and fast.
Is the main character named Yusha?
But yeah, his name's Hero.
Okay, I found it.
And the main girl is Mao, so she's just
Mao.
Demon King. So you have Demon King and Hero. And so she explains to the hero that the war between the demons and the humans is basically an artificial war. It's a war never meant to end because it keeps businesses open for both kingdoms, and the humans are very greedy when it comes to the war, and they get a lot of benefits out of being at war. You know, the rich stay rich and all that, like how wars work in real life. And so she wants to bring the entire war to a peaceful end without either side losing, because if one side loses, that means that basically if the humans lose, they become slaves of the demons. If the demons lose, they become slaves of the humans. She doesn't want that either. She wants the world at peace.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole story is her trying to like strategically gain advantages for both sides so that they can find a middle ground, and it can create a stalemate, and they end up signing like a ceasefire for the whole war. And that is like the majority of the show. That's really mostly it.
How'd you find this one?
Yeah, it was on my list.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, dude, you can ask me how I find fucking anything.
It's on the list.
I cannot goddamn tell you. I've had shit on my list for years, and I don't know how I found any of them. It's by Studio Arms, which also did Elfen Lied. They are a hentai studio.
Oh, epic.
Well, they were, and then they went to regular anime.
The main
Wasn't-
the girl Mao looks like someone familiar.
I saw she has red hair. That's about all I got
Yeah,
out of
she
that.
just looks familiar, like a character I've seen before.
Um, Other notes is that like she doesn't want the hero to fight. She doesn't have him go off because they state several times that he can obliterate entire armies by himself. That he's that strong, but they never really show it until episode 11 when he accidentally puts a little bit too much sauce on what he's doing to destroy a teleportation portal. Then you realize just how strong the hero actually is.
Shit.
It's kind of crazy.
So you can just like
And-
level anything.
Oh yeah, he is like absurdly strong, and you just have to take it at face value until about then, and then they drop it. The only downside is that it's definitely one of those shows that didn't finish, and there's a lot of unresolved stuff at the end of it. But
When did it come out?
2013, I think.
Oh, it's probably
Yeah,
not
it-
getting,
yeah,
it's
I
probably
just
not
looked
getting
at it.
more.
No, there's
So-
no fucking way.
No, it's also pretty highly rated for
I think it has a
it's like a 7.3 or something on my anime list.
looking
I'm
for
glad Alex find it.
yeah, it's 7.25.
Yeah, which is pretty highly rated for just a fantasy
Mm.
anime.
Yeah, it is. Someone said in the comments like it's historically. I don't know. I don't know what this guy's trying to say.
Is he
Definitely
trying to
not
like?
historically
I
accurate.
was gonna say I don't think it's many historical accuracies.
There's not many demon kings that have been around in the recent history of the world.
Yeah, not that I know of, at least.
Well, at least not that the
But-
government wants you to know of.
It's cool because she brings like innovations to the human land. So it's weird to see how humans are like very unevolved as compared to demons. Like she brings the printing press over potatoes, wheat, other sorts of crops that they didn't have in the human realm. And that's part of like her plan to prevent starvation of the weak, or the not the weak, the poor, because they're obviously starving because they have to feed the militaries that are off to war.
Huh.
And it's just a whole mess. There's a lot of economic crisis going on near the end. Like they force a economic crash at the end of the show.
Jeez, those two do?
No, it's a merchant that they befriend, but like that's just something that is planned ahead. That they crash an entire market. Like they crash the whole kingdom's currency, and they have to create a new currency.
Holy shit.
I
Yeah,
always
it
kind
was
of
really
enjoy when like shows play on economics like that. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
It was really cool, and it seemed like I don't know shit about economics, but it seemed like that's how it would work if what they did is how they did it.
It's like Spice and Wolf did that a lot as well. Played with economics and money.
But yeah, it was pretty good. I actually really liked it. I just finished it today, actually, because I had like 4 more episodes that I didn't get to watch.
Trying to think of something you could rate it out of.
Potatoes.
Or printing presses.
It's a big one.
How many potatoes you can fit, or printing presses?
How many potatoes can you fit in the printing press?
Out of 10.
Out of so there's a max of 10 potatoes that can go inside of the printing press.
Yeah.
How big
At
are
a
these
time-
printing
at a time.
presses?
Normal.
What? I don't know what to do with that.
How big are these printing presses? Normal. I give it an 8.5, an 8 out of 10.
Ooh.
Which would, if we can do 10 potatoes per printing press, that would be 8 printing presses and 80 potatoes.
Yes.
It's a lot of potatoes and a lot of printing presses.
I was between 7.5 and 8, but I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. It was fun.
It sounds like without ever watching it or just reading the description, it seems like a show that would be kind of comical. Was there any like comedy aspect?
See, I
to it?
get the opposite. I get more of
Really?
like a serious tone from it, yeah.
Anytime I think of like demon, king, queen, and hero, I just think like kind of funny.
It wasn't like inherently funny all the time. It had like its comedic relief moments. Like when she was talking to the hero and trying to explain like, "Hey, I want you to be mine. I'm going to be yours, and that's how we're going to settle this." So like they own each other, quote unquote, in a romantic way is how she was putting it, whatever. She was like showing him visions of like what she sees and what she wants the future to be. And like at one point they're going down a river, and she's like, I want to see what's on the other side of that hill, and I want you to show me what's on the other side of that hill because you can't see anything that from your memories that you don't remember. And then she sets down the lamp. She accidentally activates it again, and with the hero in the room, it shows her with her hero body pillow, and she's making out with it.
I
Oh.
appreciate it.
Like
So
that's
Mao has the mega hots.
yes, she has the hots for the hero, for Yusha. But she does have a Yusha body pillow that she was making out with to practice her kissing for when she did meet the hero.
Of course. I mean, who doesn't?
So yeah, there you go.
What's the deal?
What's the deal? Free printing press when you start a war with the demon world.
Shit, count me in.
Free printing press?
Free
Yeah, you
printing
get a whole
press.
free printing press.
It's not bad. That's a great deal, actually.
You could let everyone know you're at war.
Yeah,
Yeah, with your printing press.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Talk about a return on investment, am I right?
Right. Make millions of dollars with your printing press. Just printing papers about the war that you started to get your printing press.
you
It's
will
like
make a lot of money from being at war.
That's such a convoluted way. Like, hey, you guys want to make $1 million? Well, yeah, that sounds cool. All right, hear me out. We're going to go to war, but they're going to give us this printing press in return. And what we'll do is sell newspaper articles about the war to the people.
We'll print propaganda.
Exact. Boom.
Yeah.
Bam.
So you make $1 million, but a lot of people die.
Count me in.
I'm in.
Yeah, that's big money. Big
It's a
money.
milli.
So I wanted to. I was looking through my notes, and I was watching this movie. It's a Japanese movie on Netflix. I think it's called like The Door to Summer. Basically, the plot is like this dude in 1995 is very good at robotics, and then he gets cryogenically frozen, wakes up 25 years later, and that's like the plot. And then time travel gets involved, and I was thinking about that, and like I wouldn't really say a time travel paradox. I mean, it might be, but what he has there might be spoilers here, so if you want to watch it, I don't know, just skip. But anyway, he wakes up like 25 years later. He goes and finds a scientist who sends him back in time so he can do all these things that were already done in the future because he went back in time. Now, I guess question is I was very confused about like the, not practicality, but whether or not that could actually happen. So like before he time traveled back in time, like he woke up 25 years later or 30 years later, and he was trying to find out like where his sister was. So he had like schematics written up, and there were things created in his name that like didn't make sense. He's like, I never met any of these people before. So he goes back in time and he does all the things that basically happened on those papers to make them happen, because when he saw them in the future, they were done. So I was thinking about like, oh, it was hurting my head. I'm like, how could he go the first, it would have had to happen like before he went back in time, which is impossible because it only happened when he went back in time, but the things were done before he went back in time the first time.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It was very just think about time travel in general like that. When something like that comes up, I'm like, how? Because it just hurts my head. Can it even be done?
Time travel is one of those things that it hurts my head more than space.
There's just so many little things that can happen or that can't happen.
So, dude wakes up. You said he was asleep for 25 years?
30 years, 25, doesn't matter. Long time.
Okay, so he wakes up in 2020. And he gets a list, and all these things happen, but he has no recollection of doing them.
Yeah. So for example, he was like very popular in robotics. He had like some great breakthroughs and inventions, and he went to this company to find out about stock prices because he was going to give his sister his shares of the stocks before he got cryogenically frozen, so she would have money for the years that he was not there. So he goes to this place and he meets the CEO guy, and he's like, "Oh man, like you signed this thing for me. You told me I was going to be a great inventor." And then he told him his name. He's like, "I have never met you before." So fast forward a little bit, he goes back in time and he walks into this restaurant where that CEO as a kid was sitting, and then he goes up to him, like with the full knowledge of knowing who this is now, like goes up to him, signs it, says he's going to be a great inventor. But I was thinking, like, how is that possible for him to have that knowledge to go back in the first place if it had already happened and he basically didn't do it in the first place? You see, it's hard to explain.
Does he ever see himself frozen at any point?
I also thought about that. No, he does not, but he is close by his previous self because he goes back to like all this shit happened before he got frozen, and he was doing all this running around, and he was in a lot of these places. So he was in this person's house where he got like something injected into his neck, which paralyzed him for a little bit. But when he went back in time, he showed up to that house, looked inside, saw what was going on, saw his previous self, stole a truck, and then went to his other house. But he never interacted with his past self or future self.
So the only thing I can think is that obviously when it comes to time travel, there is nothing linear about it. You can't linearly go back in time. It's just not possible. So there is no first time he went back. There's only every time he's gone back.
Jesus, I was hurting my head.
So like he's never gone back the first time. He's always gone back every time.
Does he never progress forward?
I guess
I mean, that's a question for Thorpe. He's the one that saw the movie.
Like yeah, he does after like all that stuff happens.
Does he like go 30 years later and it's him living his life?
What he
30?
does, so he goes back, and as he's back in time, he needs to like write out this formula and do all these things to make the future happen the way it was when he was there. So he does all that stuff. Then in order to get back, this is what was throwing me off, because technically there would be two versions of himself, because before he goes back in time, like towards the beginning of the movie, he gets cryogenically frozen by this one company who he was not going to originally go with in the first place. So when he went back in time, his past self got cryogenically frozen, and his future self also got cryogenically frozen. Unless, it was very weird, so I'm like, wouldn't there be two of him?
Is that how time travel works?
I don't know.
Hypothetically, theoretically.
What do you mean?
So say tomorrow I was going to be cryogenically frozen.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up, say 40 years in the future.
Yep.
And there's now time travel or
Makes
whatever.
sense to me.
I go back in time and look at myself being frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And can you create clones using time travel? As many as you want?
Yeah, yes and no. Because they're not clones, they are you.
But there's,
You-
then there's a
you
lot
have-
of you.
You haven't made a single clone because they are all you.
But what if I continuously do that? So like
That's you're in an endless loop at that point, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're the furthest you've got in the future, is that point of going back in time, then your past self should repeat that unless you intervene. But if you intervene, you have no way of going back in time.
But then you also have to realize that because you've put yourself in an infinite loop, you can never escape that. And also, you never move on past the day that you went back.
What if you went and killed the original person?
Then you would die.
Because
But how would
Can-
you
you're
be
from
able
the
can you
future.
even kill the original person? Because
you wouldn't be
if
able to
that-
go back in the first place?
All right, look, Looper already explained how this fucking works because they did that in Looper.
Really?
What was the explanation?
Did you guys watch Looper?
I've never seen Looper.
Oh, it's a very good movie. So
Really?
Bruce Willis plays old what's his name? Hold on. This will bother me if I don't remember his name. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
He's young Bruce Willis. And so one day Bruce Willis comes back and he's who Joseph Gordon-Levitt is supposed to kill, because that's how the mafia works in the future. They send everyone back in time to before they were born to kill them. Absolutely no way to trace them, because you can't trace a person that's never been born.
Yeah.
And so one day Bruce Willis comes back and he realizes that that's him from the future. He's sent back in time for him to kill himself.
Okay.
And so with that, like, there's this whole bullshit of like how, because he's stuck in a loop now. He will always be in that loop of he's going to grow up, he's going to get sent back in time, he's going to die, the next him is going to grow up, sent back in time and die, and he's stuck in a loop, and that's why he's a looper. And then one day he like somehow realizes that he's in the loop or something and decides to act out. So he tries to like stop himself from being stuck in that loop anymore. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt realizes that the only way to stop the loop is for him to kill himself, because if his young self dies, he can never be sent back in time.
Man. Also, something else about time travel. What happens to the people around you when you go back in time? Do they just keep going?
Well, I believe time travel is based on it. It's like a new.
Like string, like I don't know, string theory for lack of my knowledge. Like
String theory, like time travel would be linked to string theory if we could ever prove it.
So like if
So
you went back, everyone else would be on that string going, but you would go to a different string.
Think.
That's one of the time travel theories. There's a lot of time travel theories, because it's a science fiction thought process that could have science reality consequences. Back to the Future explains like how different loops work. So you're not it depends on how you think of it. You're not necessarily in a different time break instantly, because let's say you start here and you go all the way up to here, and then you time travel back to here. If you still go back to that point, you never diverged. You've always been on that same track where you will go back in time in the future, and you will go up on that future in the future from your past. And then that's just part of your life. If you go back in time and you split off, then you're technically in a different time, different reality. So like you'd have like your reality A and your reality B, and you're now going track B of your reality.
So
and track A goes off in tandem and they're together, but you're now on a different set.
So it's like a line, and then this continues, and then this one breaks off, but they still go.
They both still go because both futures still exist, because you wouldn't be able to go back in time if that other future never existed. So that future has to exist because you went back in time, and you were back in time, and now you're in the future. That's a different future from where you went in the past from your other future.
Yeah.
I fucking hate time travel because there's so many different things and possibilities. And like, what if you, I mean, no, this sounds totally plausible. Like you get to the point where you go back in time and very obviously, like, you've created that future for your past self that goes back in time, But you, as the time traveler, just lived a normal life. I mean, you would just die at some point.
Yeah.
And then eventually you would always go back and keep living that same life, wouldn't you? Unless,
Well, I mean, that'd just be a linear life then.
yeah.
Like, if you just went back in the past and just lived your life. So, like, let's say I went back in time now to 2000. And I just lived my fucking life as like that. I'd be 40 right now, 44 or whatever, 47, whatever the fuck. But, like, I didn't fuck with anything. So, my now life, my past self will get up to this point, go back in time, and go down there. So, it kind of looks like a Z, but it still goes straight after the Z.
Yeah.
Why'd you bring this up, dude?
Because it was bothering me.
It's bothering me now.
Oh, I just had to share it with the gang.
But with the Z like that, this part would still go to the future and your part would still go to the future. So you guys would know that I went back in time, but you could meet me when I'm 47.
Yeah.
So you would still know that I'm me that went back in time, but I'm me that's older now than the young me that you knew before I left and became the old me.
We would have double Luke.
No, you'd have one Luke. I'd
hate
just be
this.
old.
Yeah, he'd just be old.
Yeah, it would be the same Luke.
I would just be old.
What if?
I'm still
Say-
thinking about it.
So you have the part where you get cryogenically frozen, right? This is just hypothetical right here that I'm speaking. And you obviously wake up in the year and you decide to time travel back. So now you go back to yourself, cryogenically frozen. What if, at that point, so original and then time travel guy. What if you both cryogenically freeze yourself and you both wake up at the year you're supposed to time travel? You knew you with the knowledge think, hey, let's not time travel. Let's just go. Is that how you break the infinite loop?
In my
No.
current understanding, it would be impossible for future you to go back and stop past you from doing it because you stopped yourself from doing it, so there's no way you could go back in the first place. But I guess if we play with like the multiple string theory here,
Realities?
if it is just one linear line, then that's impossible. But if there's multiple lines, then maybe it's not impossible because you from another line could go back to this line and stop it, but you still exist because it happened on another line. So this one could continue and you just vibe yourself.
Well,
Also,
if you
how-
go back to stop a different line, the only way to stop the other line is to stop future you from the other line from messing up past you and the first line where they diverge. So basically, this you and this you would have to fuck each other up to stop from this splitting in half. It would just go straight.
You guys want to write a movie?
No. I don't want to write a movie on time travel.
Also, the other thing is that if you went back in time and you both got frozen as you yourself and you your future self, you can't stop your other self from getting frozen because you did try that already in the past future.
I'm lost.
All right. So you were frozen, you wake up, you went back in time, you got frozen with your other past you frozen self.
Yes.
That means that when you went back in time the first time, there was already a frozen you that got unthawed trying to stop you from going back in time and failed because you still went back in time.
So there's a lot of you.
There's two yous. There's two wolves inside of you. One is gay. The other one is also gay.
The other one is horny.
Breaking from the time travel, because, boy, that's a lot to unpack. Another topic of the movie, cryogenic freezing. Do you think that's possible?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Um, I don't know. I'm probably gonna side with Luke. Why?
Wouldn't you effectively be
why what?
dead? Like if because obviously the body grows when the cells regenerate and produce new cells, but if you cryogenically freeze yourself, the cells stop producing. Therefore, you're dead, aren't you? And you would need to like be resuscitated.
I don't know much about the theory with this, but the idea would be a flash freeze at absolute zero, which, you know, if for those of you that don't know, we've gone below absolute zero in temperatures, and
It's cold.
we still have technically not reached absolute zero. Uh, so with that, if you flash froze yourself to absolute zero, all of your atoms would stop moving entirely. Therefore, your body would be basically paused. You wouldn't be dead because your cells aren't dead. They're literally preserved perfectly. Nothing can move. There is no energy in your system at all to stop from your system not being energized.
So could you wake up from that?
Mm.
I'm curious.
I don't know. I'm
wonder,
just saying
man.
you're not. I'm just saying that you're technically not dead.
You're
I'm
just
not
Yeah.
saying that you
quite
can come
literally
back.
paused in time.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. You might be able to if we could ever do that in the first place, but we still haven't been able to.
You think you could, like, obviously when obviously particles when they warm up and cool down, or they're hot or cold, they move faster or slower.
Mhm.
Do you think even if you didn't reach absolute zero, you could slow down the aging process so much where if you went forward into the future 100 years, you froze someone for 100 years, where obviously they're going to age, but it would be so slow where it is like insignificant?
I don't know. They're probably dead at that point.
You think?
I feel like that you would. If the cells are still moving, I think you would still need like nourishment.
Okay, say they put an IV in them.
Well, then I
Well,
feel like if
they
at that
can't.
temperature, the IV would
The
freeze.
IV's
it's
frozen.
freeze, right.
You can't. There's nothing to put an IV into.
Unless like the metabolism is slowed down so much, where it just doesn't.
But then what if he poop?
What if you do poop?
It's only been 50 years and the shit has been processed. We need to freeze him.
Unfreeze him, quick.
He wakes
This
up.
dude's
Am I
gonna have
done?
the
No, we had to
maddest
take you
shit
out
of his
early.
life.
I don't know. I personally think that cryogenic freezing is completely science fiction and can never be science reality.
I think it's more feasible than time travel.
No, time travel is definitely way more feasible.
Really?
Yep. Electromagnetics have proven that time travel might be feasible.
That would be nutty. Do you?
I talked
imagine,
about that. Remember the super quantum computer that I brought up like
Yeah.
a few months ago?
This is
where
not really talking about time travel itself, but more of the not practicality. Let's go with ethics, for lack of a better term. Say it does get invented, and like say the U.S. invents time travel, but like we could go back in time to go fuck with things. Who do you think would have like privilege to that? Like very obviously, if the government invented it, would be a government thing, but imagine the backlash from like other places. Like, no, we don't want you going back and fucking with like Belgium or something.
well, now here's the thing, Thorpe. How do you know that we don't have time travel? And how do you know that people don't know that we have time travel, but were dealt with in the past?
That's true. They might have already been dealt with.
Yeah.
I think they're you guys have seen, like, there's people who claim to be time travelers, and they do have some crazy things to say.
John Titor.
Is that his name or one of them?
That was the most famous one from 2000.
Imagine if like that guy's not bullshitting.
He predicted a lot of shit
That's
perfectly.
what I'm saying.
What was his
Some of the-
name?
Some of the shit's weird.
John Titor.
Titor.
Titor. He actually predicted the Large Hadron Collider being created and built. The exact year, I think he said the day too, that it would be completed.
That's weird. That's a little
And he
weird.
stated that he used the Large Hadron Collider to time travel.
I wonder why him. Like, I wonder if like he had any significance. If he is telling the truth, then I wonder what his position was to allow him to go back in time travel.
I mean, perhaps it wasn't like he was allowed. Maybe he
He
snuck
just
in
did
and
it.
did it to tell people the future.
You know, that would kind of make sense because I feel like if someplace does invent time travel, then they're gonna say, "Hey, like, you can't just willy-nilly around this." And he's like, "No, I want to."
You got tea being made back
Yeah,
there.
there's
or
actually a
something?
tea kettle like screaming in the background. It's
He's
done
dead.
now, but
John Titor.
He's dead.
isn't
No, I don't think so.
he might have been
I
dealt
don't
with.
think anybody found out who he is.
Really?
John Titor was an alias.
Oh,
I don't think anybody found out who John Titor really was. He just disappeared one day.
That's weird.
He was like completely active on forums consistently for I want to say almost a year or 6 months or something like that, and then just stopped. He just completely stopped keeping people informed on what was going on.
wow.
That's some
I'm gonna
goofy
fucking look
stuff.
into this guy.
Some weird
It's
things.
crazy. It is really fucking crazy, and he predicted a lot of shit perfectly.
I want to see
Like-
because I was just on his Wikipedia. I want to see the predictions.
But I mean, a lot of people think that we do have time travel. The Large Hadron Collider did create time travel. That's why we have Mandela effects.
I think that's why.
Is the Mandela
That's what
effect
people think.
the? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it the thing where it's like Bernstein Bears or Bornstein Bears? Like someone sees something. and
Berenstain or
they-
Berenstain.
Like the little
their
curl in the
recollection-
Ford.
Yeah, like their recollection is
Yeah.
different from what it actually is.
Yeah, that's what everybody has, like mass differential recollections. Like, I remember this being this, and everyone else is like, yeah, I
Mhm.
also remember that. And then they look back and
It's
it's
like
like,
it wasn't.
not even close. It wasn't like that at all. There was no reason for you to ever think it was like that. I thought the Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia on it. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's
shit
just
like
like
that.
apples and grapes. The thing, yeah, I can like totally picture what the cornucopia would look like too.
I mean, there's a lot of scientific reasoning behind it. I don't really understand it because, you know, I always knew it as Berenstain Bears.
I didn't even know what it was until it was brought up like that.
And, like, there's people that have found books that say Berenstain Bears and shit like that. And it's like, I don't know. The fuck
They-
do you even think about that?
They didn't get it all. There were some loose ends. They didn't tie them up.
I guess I don't really understand it, but people think that Mandela effects are like test runs of the time travel of the Large Hadron Collider. That's just like crazy conspiracy theorists, which who knows, they might not be crazy. If they invented time travel, they literally could do whatever the fuck they want. We can't
Yeah.
prove it. We
you
absolutely
would just look
cannot
like a
prove it.
fucking nut.
Even if you did know, there's no way to prove that you
Mm-mm.
know because they went back in time to say you don't know. Unless they fucked up and went too far back and said, this guy's lying. And everyone's like, but he didn't say anything about time travel. They're like,
Like,
Oh,
oh, shit.
oh,
Oh no.
oh. And the government made a big fucky wucky.
They're like, oh shit, Terrence did it. He fucked up.
Fucky wucky in the oopsie box. But that's also if you sent your whole body back. There's also theories that you could just send your consciousness back. There's a lot of movies that do that too.
Consciousness in itself is a very weird thing to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like how teleportation is considered unethical.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
So if I were to take you and teleport you, Alex, that's technically not you that teleported because you are now dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So because I am ripping you apart molecule by molecule, shoving you through a tube more or less, and then reconstructing you molecule by molecule, you are dead.
And the new
That
you
is
is
now-
there.
That has now cloned you. That has all of your memories and everything. But you
Really?
are dead. Yes. I mean, it's just like how clones are unethical now.
I think
What was the name of the sheep?
Oh, I can't remember. I was gonna say something about that sheep.
It was
Clone
like a
sheep.
it was
Yeah,
a
like,
D,
They
wasn't
like
it?
fully cloned a sheep.
Like Dolly,
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Dolly the sheep.
Dolly the sheep. And then that's when they had a whole summit on it on if it's ethical to clone, and they deemed it unethical. Which sucks because that would solve world hunger.
Cloning.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can just
if you
clone
cloned.
animals.
Yeah.
If we doubled all the animals just like that, fucking world hunger's done.
Do you
Easy
think-
peasy.
I mean,
Or just like foods.
yeah, assuming you could clone like
Like, why do you
anything.
only have? Why is it only animals?
I
Why
think
couldn't you just
maybe
clone
it only
vegetables?
worked with. All right, so in Dolly's case, did they like was Dolly birthed? Like, did another animal give birth to Dolly?
Think so?
In that case, like at that current stage, foods wouldn't work. I don't think, unless you'd have to like artificially inseminate plants.
But I mean, we 3D print food now.
You can 3D print fucking food.
Yeah, you can 3D print meat,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. They did do that. That's weird. I kind of want to try it though.
and it's 100% lean, and people say it tastes like shit because there's no fat in it at all to give it any flavor.
Fuck, dog. I want to try it.
I'd try it. Why not?
Fuck
I mean,
yeah, I'll try some 3D printed meat.
fuck. Like I said, the only thing people said is it tastes bad because there's no fat to give it any flavor because it's only meat.
Man, if I'm starving, I'll eat it.
Yeah. If it means I get to eat food, I'm eating food.
Yeah, give me some 3D printed meat.
Give me that 3D roast beef.
Remember from SpongeBob the holographic meatloaf?
No.
Yeah. So Dolly was born from another sheep.
So it was like an artificial insemination type thing.
That's what it seems like.
The holographic meatloaf was funny because obviously plankton's a plankton
Yeah.
and they feed off of sunlight and light particles.
Whoa.
So the holographic meatloaf would actually sustain him because it's light particles that he is ingesting.
That's fucking funny.
So Karen is actually a great wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen,
Plankton
computer
is-
wife.
And plankton is definitely the 40-year-old blue collar worker that comes home, has too many beers, and is mean to his wife for no reason.
Yeah.
Comes home from lives inside of his failed business.
Shut up,
Yeah.
bitch,
He doesn't have a
wife.
house, does he?
No, he's got the chum bucket.
No.
That's where he lives.
Mr. Krabs has a house. He lives in an anchor.
Mr. Krabs
Yeah.
is bringing in the dough with the Krabby Patties.
He does.
Yeah, he is.
Not the pretty patties.
No.
No, that was SpongeBob thing.
They turned me polka dotted under me kilt.
It made my tongue glow in the dark.
I don't know why everyone was bitching. That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know.
I want my
Sure.
tongue to glow in the dark. Fuck.
It wouldn't be very stealthy, but fuck do I need
It'd be
stealth
cool
for?
though. Yeah, exactly.
It made me plaid under me kilt. Show's so fucking dumb, man.
There's a video on how to clone a sheep.
Like a quick YouTube 10-minute tutorial in and out.
I mean, whatever you do, don't make an engine that runs on water. We all know how that goes.
Yeah, don't do that.
Someone at work was saying they had I think they had someone in their neighborhood that had a lawnmower that ran off of water.
They better keep that under wraps.
Guy disappeared.
Hush.
Hasn't been heard from.
Nuh-uh.
He's missing and has never been heard from.
Really?
Yes.
Time traveling government got to him.
There was a guy that had a water-powered lawnmower and he disappeared and has never been found.
The dude's at the bottom
In his
of the lake.
neighborhood?
Yeah.
Like recently?
Do you
I
guys know
don't know how recently.
like the full story about that? Because I've only heard people talk about it. I've never read anything about it, about the guy who invented the water-powered engine and then Bambi's gone.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is there more to that?
Not really. He had a water-powered engine. He posted like his his whole research online. Put a video up online and everything. And then a few days later he was dead. He committed suicide but had like 2
Okay.
bullet holes in his head or something like that.
Yeah.
He shot himself twice in the head is what I'm trying to say.
Dude, he had that sleight of hand though. He could just do it.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude needed commando pro, I guess.
Yeah.
Like all those. No, that's what the dudes at the hospitals in Russia. They needed a commando pro.
Yeah, it says Stanley
Just slipped out
Myers
of my nose.
water-powered car. The car was said to be powered by a revolutionary water fuel cell. In 1996, an Ohio court ruled the project was fraudulent. Meyer mysteriously died 2 years later in 1998.
Yep.
It's
And
funny.
I'm like pretty sure they tried to deem it suicide with 2 bullet holes in his head.
If
Stanley Meyer death?
the coroner goes, yep, that's 2, all right. No one's gonna argue with the coroner.
That's a suicide.
That's one if I ever seen it.
I've never seen a suicide better than this one. This guy hit himself right in the head twice.
Oh, he also wanted to be turned to ashes and put in a kiln, so there's no evidence.
The first shot actually killed him instantly. And then the second shot just made sure that he was dead.
Are you talking JFK or Stanley Meyer?
JFK? You know,
Are you still
What
talking
is-
Stanley Meyer?
What?
Yeah, Stanley Meyer.
Yes.
I found his death here.
What's it say?
Stanley Meyer died suddenly on March 20th, 1998, while dining at a restaurant. His brother claimed that during a meeting with 2 Belgian investors, Meyer suddenly ran outside saying, "They poisoned me." After an investigation, the Grove City police went to the Franklin County coroner report that ruled that Meyer, who had a high blood pressure, died of a cerebral aneurysm. Some of Meyer's
right.
supporters believed that he was assassinated to suppress his invention. Felipe Vedamontortelli, one of the Belgian investors, stated that he had been supporting Meyer financially for several years and considered him a personal friend, and that he had no clue where the rumors came from.
All I'm
Right.
saying.
I'm trying to. I cannot remember who the government tried to say. Like they tried to rule something a suicide, and the dude had 2 bullet holes in his head. And they literally. I cannot remember what it was, but
I believe it.
I believe it as well.
yeah,
I mean-
you know.
I also believe that the man probably was poisoned. I mean, what happens with the invention of the water engine? Oil goes under.
A lot of people, you lose a lot of money.
I mean, isn't it? But if you inject potassium underneath someone's tongue, it comes up as a heart attack or something.
That would be crazy. That's so easy to do.
And the wound heals before they die.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow. Here
Yeah,
we
you can
are
find
talking
that,
about it.
You
on
can
a
find that
public
shit on
forum.
Reddit all the time.
Yeah.
Reddit talks about that kind of shit all the time.
Here we
That's
are.
the only reason I
talking
know
about
it. Hey, you know what? I'm stating my sources so they can go to my sources. Or I guess if they want to suicide me, they can put 2 bullet holes in my head and tell me I killed myself.
Yeah, it was all him.
No, Tip, you forgot. With JFK, his head just did that.
Yeah, that's been confirmed.
I want to know. I think it's like pretty
It's
confirmed that the CIA.
Confirmed that his head did that.
Yeah, that's confirmed for sure. But it's like confirmed that not JFK, the CIA dealt a hand
Killed him.
in Martin Luther King. I want to know.
Yeah.
Because there are still like papers from the JFK assassination that are still under wraps.
CIA did it for sure.
100%.
You know, I was
Yeah.
listening to Hardcore History podcast by Dan Carlin, and I'm going to throw this out there again. It's a great podcast. Listen to it if you got like 6 hours to kill. This episode was about like nukes and stuff, and he was talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis. And most of JFK's staff fucking hated him. They were all like old World War II military commanders, and they were very for like, they're like, just go to war. Let's just do it. Let's just get it over with. Let's take out Russia. And he's like, no, it's not a great idea. So I'm like, if all these guys in very high up positions really hated this guy and they wanted him gone, they could probably do it and no one would really bat an eye. These were all just like huge military leaders, old commanders at very high positions. It makes sense. The shoe fits.
I believe it. I believe it.
Sense to me.
And they're just waiting for everyone. No, not even waiting. Like, I don't know if everyone who may have been involved is dead. It was a long time ago. Maybe they are. Probably
By now.
But
Probably.
like, let's just keep this under wraps. You know, let's we don't want to let that get out.
You know, I wonder if in our time we'll ever have a president that gets out of office knowing all of the secrets and just tells them.
Like one day live streams on Instagram, like, okay, here it is, boom.
Well, when he's no longer the president too, so
Yeah.
they can't really. There's not much that they can do.
And then if he goes missing, it's like, okay, well, like, yeah, he was telling the truth.
Yeah, so they're kind of in a catch-22 where they either don't do anything and he tells us all, and we either choose to believe or not, or they do something and then we choose whether to believe or not.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to know at that point, like, that when you do that, you're probably gonna die.
Because I was literally thinking about that. I was in the shower the other day and I was like, I wonder if we like how many people know that we're being lied to by the government daily.
If people
we
don't,
are.
they're stupid.
Because we are. Like, that's
yeah.
just a
Yeah.
fact. I don't really care. And this isn't me covering my ass either. I really do not care if the government's lying to me or not.
I just get on with my life and do whatever
And
I do.
obviously, my daily life is the same as it's always been. And obviously, the government's lied to us before because we went to war with Iraq and they didn't even do anything to us.
Yeah.
But like, I wonder how many people like don't believe that or don't know that that's just a fact.
I think
I'm
certain
gonna-
people-
probably a good amount. But there's probably a lot of people who are like, nah, they're 100% for the people. It's all good. Everything's peachy.
Do you think they're all the same people that like are like, I can't believe the Chinese don't know they're being lied to by their government.
Probably.
Yeah.
But America would never lie to us. Land
Yeah.
of the free, home of the brave.
We're
Ye-
totally-
Eagles.
We're in the know of everything. We know left from right, up and down.
They gave me a gun, so I know how to tell the truth from the government.
Yeah.
The liberal lies are not going to blind me.
Just think the amount of like bullshit out in the world. There's a lot of it. But I just truck along, you know.
Yeah, I stay
I just
trucking.
do my thing. Yeah, stay trucking.
Yeah, it's like, say we found out like like this huge lie from the government, like it's confirmed. Like, well, you know, what can we do about it?
Nothing.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna
Like
keep
nothing.
trucking. I'll be like, yep, kind of knew it.
like yeah, the government actually funded the Ukraine war to start by engaging in antagonizing Russia to get this or something, to get closer to Russia. It's like, well, yeah, we kind of saw that, but like,
I'm just gonna.
Also,
keep
I can't
this
trucking.
do
is-
anything about it.
It's really funny how Russia still fucking managed to drop the ball that hard.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We can antagonize them all they want. It was still on them for fucking losing.
If anything,
Yeah,
it opened
Russia-
up a window into how they
Fucking
actually,
idiots.
like how the military actually operates.
How
Yeah,
their military operated. They don't probably fucking have
Yeah.
one now. They can't afford a military anymore. They
They
lost
spent all
their
their money on yachts.
flagship. They lost their flagship.
Their one aircraft carrier is on the verge of sinking in port.
Their military has lost way too many tanks to be counted for.
And men.
I think Ukraine has more Russian tanks than Russia does currently in combat.
Their aircraft do not fare well against anything.
You know, the weird thing about that war is like a very common tactic in war is gain air superiority, and you're not in the clear, but that's like a huge upper hand. And Russia very obviously had a much larger air force than Ukraine. But like,
They didn't have the Ghost of Kiev, dude.
no, they didn't.
yeah, dude.
They just didn't like utilize it. And I know a lot of people say like maintenance costs and embezzling money, and that's totally true. But even with say 50% of the Air Force like in need of repair, that's still like, I feel like more than what Ukraine had. They just didn't utilize it. And a lot of people talked about that in the beginning of the war. Like, it was very strange how they didn't start with like Air Force stuff.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they
you
went
also-
in with tanks.
You also have to remember that all of Russia's air force is Frankenstein planes
Yeah,
too.
That's
So
true.
like, I'm sure that not a single Russian pilot was like, "I want to fly this into Ukraine for the war right
we
now."
duct taped the cockpit canopy closed and zip tied these together.
We didn't have
Right.
jet fuel, so we put in some diesel.
Guys, we
It'll
found
run.
we found a couple Italian planes out in the field. Let's take the rudders off of them and throw them on this bad boy.
Now, I do appreciate the aesthetics of Russian aircraft because they look good.
They look
They look
nice.
very good.
They're big.
The Sukhois are huge.
Yeah, they're fucking massive.
enormous.
I saw a picture of a Sukhoi next to a F-16.
Yeah, even next to a MiG, they're just very large aircraft.
Nothing
Yeah.
compared to an F-18 freedom fighter.
Ho ho ho.
This freedom destroyer will take down your entire civilization.
Actually, the F5 was called the Freedom Fighter. The F5
I'll
Tiger.
fuck you.
Oh fuck you.
F18's the Hornet and the Super Hornet.
Oh, I forgot I asked, liberal. Why don't you take your mamby-pamby I know about planes mouth and kiss me with it, huh?
Well, after becoming a time traveling scientist and an armchair military tactician, I'm out of juice. I'm all
And
empty.
a cloning conspiracy.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're telling us that us being crazy government conspiracy theorists was where you draw the line of what you have to talk about today?
Not by mayonnaise in a jar.
It started with mayonnaise in a jar and ended with war.
Yeah.
There's the slippery slope we all love to see. Fistful of mayonnaise leads to government conspiracy theories. This is what you guys come to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell notification button for the Hello Harem podcast.
That's right. Plenty more where that came from.
And
Next
if
week
only
we talk
Sencho
about
would marry me.
Maybe she will. Just clone
Yeah.
yourself 100 times and try 100 different times.
I guess the
Or time
possibilities
travel.
are
You
endless.
could
Yeah.
even time travel. Just invent an engine that runs on water and email and say, hey, I got this new car that runs on water. You want to go for a drive?
Hey, Hollow Court, can you tell Hosho Marine I invented a water-powered engine?
Oh yeah, she'll care about that.
And they're just like, Nani.
And just throw this in the spam folder.
This guy, like, yeah, we need to file a lawsuit against this guy. He keeps saying he made a water-powered engine. And the government's like, we got this. We'll,
We'll
handle
take care
it.
of it.
Don't worry.
We'll handle him. Don't worry.
What was his name?
I don't know.
All right, guys. Well, that's probably the end of today's episode of the Hello Harem podcast. Like Luke said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Sancho, please marry him. His water-powered car will probably...
I don't have one. I don't have one. I don't fucking have one.
Only in
It'll tug on your
Minecraft.
heartstrings.
I mean, I guess. I mean, what the fuck is the government gonna do? Come and kill me? I'd like to see him try. Not if I get me first.
Oh yeah, take that one, Gov.
Take that one, big government.
government.
Yeah. Nice try.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to today's episode. We hope you found anything funny, interesting, or informative. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. We will see you guys next week on the next episode of the Hello Harem podcast. Thank you very much.
Say, Pabst the Ribbon. What else?